Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing wonderfully. And I appreciate everybody's tolerance of me being absent this past week. It has been a very busy couple of previous weeks. This last week more work-related. The weekend prior obviously was holiday and family-related. And I hope you all had time, those of you who celebrate the holiday or were able to celebrate holiday at that time, that you all had a great time, hopefully spending with your families and doing what you might have been interested in. If nothing else, I hope that you were able to get some rest and reprieve. Hey, Fighting Max, it's a pleasure to get to bring my voice to the conversation again, as it's always very difficult for me to convey things in text. Not that I can't write decently and decently eloquently, but it's always nice to get the voice to things. I think just something fun. It's something good to have a voice to voice as well. And hey to Ash, or hi to Ash. I know I said some of that in text, but the same situation. It's good to get to say hi again. It feels like that I've been underwater for a long time, and the sounds of the surface were muffled to me as my objective lay underneath the surface of the water. I swam comfortably in an environment that required me of the time, and I know I don't belong underwater, but there is a comfort in it. And now I've been able to accomplish that goal and to resurface and to reacquaint with my my friends on the surface, and now the murkiness of the sound that was coming is now clear and clear word. No, I haven't been sick. So I was live weekend before last. Last weekend was Labor Day weekend, and because it was Labor Day weekend, I was on extended holiday, and so because of that, we went to travel to go visit family, and I don't have I probably should get one, but I don't have a mobile way to broadcast. I probably do, honestly, have the equipment for it. I have just not set up a mobile broadcast station. And so I couldn't, I didn't have the gear. So, and then this last week, I've been taking care of work-related things, and that was there was some big stuff happening with my work that required my attention. So now I'm back. But no, I haven't been sick. I'm okay. I appreciate the ask. Better to know, speaking of being sick, that you are feeling better as well. I know I get to hop on and listen to and interact within the Skyrim stream that you're doing, and very, very fun stream. I don't know Skyrim 1/10 of as well as I know Oblivion, and I didn't know Oblivion all that well. If you saw my playthrough of Oblivion, you'll realize that while I know some of it incredibly well, there's other aspects of it that I know very poorly. Case in point, I think around the third or fourth, maybe even fifth episode, having to find lockpicks was a bugger for me, and I couldn't get the unbreakable lockpick in time for it to be of any use for me. So at some point I may go back and revisit Oblivion. Probably not in the near future, but at some point I may go ahead and do that to do a full achievement run. I won't start from ground zero. I'll just go back into the save game that we played before and go and do all of the Assassin's Guild quests and stuff like that. I think that would be fun. There are only 60 achievements total that you can get, and I've already got at least 20 of them. No, at least half of them. I would have over half of them. So, getting the other 30 wouldn't take that long. I'm feeling better finally. Good. I'm glad. Being sick is never fun when it happens, especially if it happens infrequently. Your body kind of gets used to feeling decent, or at least normal, and then all of a sudden it hits you and you're like, oh, this is miserable. So I'm glad to know that you're feeling better. I've already said this before. I said it last stream, but I will go ahead and say it again because it has been some interruption between that last stream and now on my plans for the upcoming. Now, I know we're not at the end of this game yet, but we are coming closer to the end of the game. That cough. Do you know what caused it? Was it did you just have a URI or an LRI? I guess it could also have been, or was it something more specific? I'm not sure. Oh, okay, so a minor RI. Okay, I figured it was some form of RI. I just didn't know which kind. So, yeah. So, my plan, my short-term plan is to play obviously the rest of this game. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna pass it, do all that kind of stuff. We've still got some doing, but we're gonna try and do that. And then after that, I'm going to play a much shorter game that is much darker in tone. And I'm trying to think of how to... say this. You get... A lot of people do like a trigger warning type thing. I'm not going to say that. A lot of things show that giving that kind of a thing makes people more anxious if they want to watch the content, because they'll want to watch the content up until that point, but then you have to, if somebody's not really specific, then it's like, when is it going to come up? So I don't want anyone to be anxious about it. But the game that I want to play next it covers a lot of really, really tough stuff. Covers a lot of really dark stuff. I'm excited to play it. It's a short game. It probably won't take very long to pass. And then I'm going to be returning to A Hat in Time, some of the DLC that I want to do. I had a lot of fun with that game. I just needed to take a break from it. And so get a little bit of some spooky out there. And then I do it. But if you are familiar with content of that game and it makes you uncomfortable, avoid it. If you're not familiar with it, I'm just giving you a heads up. It's got some dark stuff in it. It's great. So... would love to see it. I'm curious. Are we talking about the spooky game? Are we talking about the DLC? Or no, I say the spooky game. Are we talking about the? Are we talking about the? This game was, like I said, that game was in 1995, so it was very contested in that time. But ironically, I think it would even be more taboo nowadays. But I still think it's wonderful. I think it's a great story. It's a lot of fun. It's got some really interesting stuff that I'll point out along the way, little Easter eggs and stuff. And I don't both. Okay, good. And I'll point out some Easter eggs. I'll point out some cut content that they cut because of how uncomfortable it made people. I won't show it because it won't be on the game, but I will discuss it and just kind of explain the story. So. Okay, so now I think what I need to do is try and got to make sure everything is up and running where it needs to be running, otherwise we're in trouble. Okay. But yeah, I'm curious to know. After that, of course, I do my normal thing. I usually put a poll up and I say, hey, what does everybody else think? What is everybody else excited about? That kind of stuff. So. Okay. So I just want to kind of take a look and see where... Okay, so we look to be about an We're a little over halfway done, actually, if you can believe it. As this game has been so far, we're a little over halfway done. So let's take. I just wanted to take a peek and see where about we are. I'll be very clear. I open a little guide on the side to keep track of things. If nobody's able to help me, then I can take a look if I get too stuck. But it is on my. It's on my phone, so I do keep it. Off while I play the game for the most part, so that I don't immediately go to it. One of my favorite things. I'm going to put a side note real quick. One of my other favorite things to do used to be. They don't do this anymore. To collect strategy guides. I thought it was the coolest thing, especially when they would have these big special edition strategy guides. I'm curious. Anybody who might want to, whether it be here now or in the comments later, do you still find strategy guides or collecting strategy guides fun? Do you find strategy guides themselves fun? Used to, they would do strategy guides, and they would do, like in the Zelda ones, they did these leather-bound, differently colored sets for all of the different ones. So you had Wind Waker, you had Wind Waker HD, 2 different colors, leather-bound, beautiful. Twilight Princess HD did the same thing. They had one for Ocarina, they had one for Majora's Mask, and they all were in these, they were just beautiful. Witcher and Skyrim. Speaking of that, Skyrim actually had a couple of them come out. I have the Legendary Edition, which covers all of the additional, like the DLC. But they also had the original guide that came out, which had the beautiful artwork, concept art of the game on it. And then the Legendary Edition kind of went in made a uniform version where it kind of looked like a tome you might find in Skyrim. And they had a lot of great ones like that. Several of them would come packed with art books. So I think the Mass Effect strategy guide, even though it was I think they may have made a hardcover of it, but it came packaged with like concept art book. So art books weren't even their own separate thing at that time. You would get them with the guides in some cases. Very, very fun. So I'm very curious as to if today there is still any utility. I know they don't make a lot of them anymore, but I want to know if there's any utility if you still enjoy collecting strategy guides. And right now my favorite is to go back and find some of the very retro ones. So like I have the old ones. I have like the old Nintendo Power and stuff from Donkey Kong Country and some of the older games that they had. I think people just use the ones online today. Oh, see, and that's such a shame. It was such a one of the. I think that's what I'm going to go back to post. I haven't been in Discord for a little while, so I apologize. As it's difficult. I have 2 phones, right? I have this phone and my work phone, and I've been on my work phone much more than I've been able to be on my personal phone. So now that I'm kind of settled a little bit back down, I want to go back into my personal phone. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send a couple of pictures in the Discord of strategy guides that I think are cool, and see if anybody has a strategy guide or art book that they thought was really fun or nice, or something that was kind of interesting to collect. But I have like Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, I think, and 64, I think, as well, which were awesome. They came in these little, they used to, way a long time ago in the 80s and 90s, they came in these little magazines. And so you had to, you could subscribe to Nintendo Power, or you could just, you could pick them up secondhand if you had a friend that you could trade, if you had a buddy. You had a buddy who would, play games. He'd get off work and then he'd go like play games, he'd collect, and they'd be like, you know what, I'm going to trade these games, because games were still expensive and still, kind of new, and then so you trade with your, and but anyway, you used to kind of have that feel, and there were these little magazines, and they would kind of get traded, or they'd get put in garage sales, and I think they still probably do, but a lot less now. It was kind of interesting. I do have a couple of strategy guides, one for Super Mario Odyssey. Oh, they made one for Super, so I don't actually have that. That's really cool. So I think that's what I'm going to do. When I go back into the Discord, I think I'm going to take a couple of pictures of some of the strategy guides that I have, and some of the ones up close, and then of course I have a bookshelf in the home. That's it's about an 8 or 9 foot tall bookshelf that is just filled with nothing but strategy guides that I've collected over the past several decades. So, and see what what people think about some of them, and ones that they might have, hopefully will encourage to share. I don't think I have an Eternal Darkness one, but I know they made one. I think Brady Games made, I think two of them were made. I think Brady Games made one, and I think, who made the other one? I know Brady Games made one, though. But it's just like a kingdom by kingdom thing that you can use for moons and what. Yeah, so this was really cool. So a lot of games were not 3D, right? A lot of games were 2D, and so because they were two-dimensional, what would happen is basically, this was kind of neat, and I don't know how to explain exactly how, but basically every time that you're on the screen in a 2D, it's a picture, right? Just like any movie is, right? But it was a 2D picture. And so you could only move in the two dimensions. So Donkey Kong Country, let's use that for an example. And so what would happen is they would basically, but you can only see a part of the map at a time. So what they would do is they take all of those pictures basically, and they would string them all together into a perfectly flat map. So you could now see exactly where your Kongs needed to go to get the KONG letters, or if we're using the first ones, we're talking about like finding the golden ostriches or the golden frogs, where the secret entrances were, where the animal friends were, and it would take the whole map and show it to you on the page at one time. It was so cool, and it was my favorite for Donkey Kong Country 3. Again, Donkey Kong Country 3 being the one that I know like the back of my hand. Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2 not so much, and they would flat the whole map there for you. And it was so cool. So, one of the best ones for that exact example, and one of the ones that actually made the best, did the best job of it, was Castlevania 2, which was a Nintendo Power magazine, I believe. And Castlevania 2 was actually laid out in a full map. Because Castlevania 2, if you've never played Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, that's a tough one. That's a little bit of it's the first in the kind of Metroidvania-esque. But that one's tough to figure out what direction you're supposed to be going, and it was super cool. It was really, really cool. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a couple of pictures. I'm saying it so that I'll remember it as much as anything else. But yeah, I think I want to take some pictures of some of the strategy guides and see what other people have that might be interesting. I think that'd be fun. All right, let's fade that music out. Really nice and comfortable music. Jump over to our play screen. I hope I hit the right button. I think I did. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't know. Strategy guides, I've always thought they were really cool, and especially when they have the extras in them, when they have the little extras in them, they have the little art books, and some of them even came with sound. Gears of War had a soundtrack in it at the very back, which is really cool. So, also I went to an arts and crafts festival thing where they have all these booths set up to buy things from. Oh, really cool. Did you get any souvenirs from it, or anything that kind of struck your fancy? We parked pretty far away, so it was a nice walk. Very nice. Yeah, I was just saying, did you showcase anything yourself? You didn't get anything? Did you showcase anything yourself, or was it just you were just in attendance? While you're coming up with that response too, I want to go ahead and recap, if that's all right. So when we last left off, we have a small health bar, a decent magic bar, a decent, sanity bar, because we are little old brother Luther here. And we went to a church which we could clearly see by the pallor of the people was filled to the brim with evil, and we decided, we didn't know anything about that. We met a brother, fellow brother of the good side, I guess, and he rang the bell tower and all that. He came up, met with us, gave us some stuff. We have a crossbow, a mace, podium key, a book of reliquaries, and we actually picked the... We've got a lot of stuff. What does this meditation rod do? It restores sanity, right? Yeah. Meditation to regain lost sanity. Which I also have a spell, so it has to be really good at that. No, just attending. There were these cool fake plants made of clay that my mom seemed interested in, but we didn't get it. Oh, wow. Okay, that's really cool. My wife is very interested in plant life, I will say, straight off the bat. And so anything that looks like a plant that doesn't require the care of a plant, she's actually really good at caring for plants too. I don't want to be unfair to her. It's just we're at cross purpose because her plants need a lot of sun, and I am allergic to the sun. So I'm not saying that tongue in cheek. I actually have an allergy to the sun. So as a result of that, we're kind of at cross purpose because all of our windows are blocked off to prevent me from bursting into flame. Not really. That's not what really will. That was tongue in cheek. Are you really? Yeah, I am. I cannot have sunlight. I'm not. So there are a couple of ways to have it, right? You have albinism, for example. I am not albino. I do have some pigment in my hair and skin and eyes, also known as hypomelination. Nope. Wait. Actually, maybe yep. Maybe yes. Okay, Luther, I need you to... I can't see what's going on here, Luther. Okay, I need to get a feel for where I am again, as well as for the controls. It has been 2 weeks. Okay, that's fine. That's alright. I just needed a feel for the controls again. Yeah, so there are a couple of different versions of it. You have hypomelination, whereas the melanin content in your skin, hair, eyes is very little. These people generally have what appear to be white hair. It would be actually translucent, but when you stack a lot of translucent on top of it, it looks white. And the eyeballs are generally white as well, sometimes red looking, reflected, and so on and so forth. So I don't have that. My version is referred to as PMLE. Yes. You have so yeah. You've never seen you've never met a person who's an albino person. But same. I mean, same as any other person. It's just so melanin, as I'm sure you're aware. Melanin is the how am I? I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Ash? Melanin is the I gotta get reacclimated to the controls a little bit. Being absent from this 2 weeks has been tricky, and when I've traveled, all I've been playing is Order of Ecclesia, and I have the controls of that down, but that's also like one of my favorite Castlevania games. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and take you out. There we are. Look at see how much easier that was. Get that sanity back. Look at that. All right. I'm doing all right. I've just been super busy, but otherwise doing well. All right, we got oh, it's music. All right. A sheet of music lies upon the bookshelf. One wonders what it sounds like. Let's take it so we can play it. Can I see what it... I want to examine it real quick because I want to see what it looks like. But yeah, so anyway, melanin is the content which dictates the color of your skin, right? So the darker skinned you are, the more melanin you have in it. Darker your eye color is, the more melanin you have in it. So if you're brown eyes, you have more melanin. If you have green eyes, less melanin. If you're like me, you have blue eyes, you have very little melanin. And then your hair color also. If you have black hair, high melanin. Brown hair, less. If you're like me and blonde, you have less. And then, of course, when you have white or gray hair, that's the process of demelaninization through age. And melanin protects you from the sun. It is a natural... it's naturally to protect you from the sun. So if you have darker skin, you're less likely to have damage, skin cancers and things like that. Doesn't mean you're less likely to get cancer, just those types of cancer. And so if you're hypomelanated, suffering from albinism, which is being albino, you don't have a lot of that. Your eyes will be a little bit whiter. Your hair is going to be kind of a white gray. Your skin's going to be kind of a white, very white, in fact, almost paper white. And so you can't really be out in the sun for very long. You have no protection from it. So I am much, much paler than the average person, but I'm not quite albino pale. And so, yeah, I can't be in the sun for very long. That's very true. So it's treble clef, but it's low on the treble clef. A piece of parchment with some musical notations written on it. It is somewhat tattered, probably through years of use. Da 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 da. Wait. Da 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 da. Okay. So it's low. If you're playing the piano, that'd be low on the right hand. A bewildering array of books and tomes sorted, or it'd either be, depending on where you played it, you could technically play that high on the left hand, but I'd say probably low on the right, or mid on the right hand. A bewildering array of books and tomes sorted neatly onto a set of shelves, mostly books of a religious nature, awaiting scholars such as Paul to peruse their contents. We are pious men, but right now we are afraid. Is there anything that stands out to us as not being... No, not really. But yeah, I've been doing all right. I've been busy like crazy these past couple of weeks, and so things are kind of slowing down. September's probably going to be a little hectic because of the end of the fiscal year. October's probably going to mellow out a lot. That's my hope. But either way, August was probably going to be more hectic than September, so we'll see what happens. I think I'm all right. I feel pretty good no matter what. It's just being busy, and I apologize because I don't get to talk with all of you guys as much, and I apologize to you, Ash, as well, if I've missed anything. I get stuck in taking care of those assignments and stuff, and preparing for stuff, and it gets difficult. Oh no, you're fine. No worries. Okay, so all of these books are of a religious nature. They're texts to be studied, but we don't actually have much context otherwise, and that's what it's saying on all of the books. I'm checking just to see if there's any book that stands out, like if I find a Necronomicon of sorts, you know. Okay. Lying on an abandoned easel is a sheet of tattered paper covered with scrawls of ink. Those are pretty uniform scrawls. I'd call it handwriting. Diary page, okay. Now this is a podium, and there was something about a podium key. So let's check this firstly. The diary of Brother Andrew. Okay, so Brother Andrew was the brother that helped us, I believe. I suppose it is understandable that they will not show me the hand of Jude on such little notice, but I must confess that the preparations they make are most unusual. No acts of consecration, no daily prayer or worship are demonstrated by this strange order. One wonders if they are holy at all, let alone being under the auspices of the Grand Inquisition. Perhaps it is my... I can't see here. Perhaps it is my naivete of our faith. There are many practices associated with it, and they differ greatly from region to region. Perhaps Amiens is merely more eccentric than others. Or Amiens, I guess is how you would say that. It seems a little suspicious that we wouldn't consecrate. Okay. This is a podium. Perhaps I need to be on this side of it? Because I'm not sure how many podia there are throughout this whole thing. No. So it's not for that. So did I really just come up here to get context by Brother Andrew? From Brother Andrew, rather? That's just a wall. There's no secret. He looks up at something. His sanity is half... Okay. His sanity is only halfway, so it's possible that he's looking up at like a bleeding ceiling that we can't yet see. I do need to check something out because, so if I enter... Come on, Paul? Paul? So this room right here, if we remember, this is the room where Charlemagne was when we were in the Anthony chapter, and Anthony's in there. He basically picked up he read a scroll, or he opened a scroll that was supposed to be for Charlemagne and had a curse upon it, and so I'm trying to think of how to say it. The curse bestowed itself upon Anthony instead of Charlemagne, but Charlemagne went in to warn Charlemagne, but Charlemagne had already been killed at that time, and so Anthony was just left there, I guess? That's the only thing I can think of, so... I don't know if I should kill him or leave him be. Okay, I think he's weak. I could be wrong about this. I thought he was the kind of beast... No, he's not. Okay. Okay, it doesn't want to let me go, though, so... I don't want to kill him, but I can't get out now. Okay, I think I could probably do more damage with the mace, maybe? Okay, definitely hurts him differently. He's also very hardy. He's slow enough that this technique seems to be working okay. We're just gonna call that one a whiff. Okay. Okay, still slow. It's doing damage. I accidentally scraped against the wall. Okay, this actually triggered a cutscene. Not what I thought was going to happen. And this is why I feel bad for Anthony. He was trying to protect Charlemagne, and now we have the memories of him through himself and the Tome of Eternal Darkness. Oh, I guess I would have had to have... That does not look like a ruby. Okay. Okay, I definitely need some health, I think, if I remember correctly. And I did. And I believe this was my other one. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's... It's very dark. I have a filter on... Again, I've said this before, but I have a filter on your side of things. So the way that you see it is... a little... is a little brighter than what you would have normally seen. I had to put a filter so you could see it all. Because otherwise it is too dark. Okay, so we found Anthony, we've killed him, we have an emerald and a ruby, so I'm assuming that we're probably going to need a blue jewel of some sort. Topaz, maybe? The altar is bereft of homely adornment. No crucifix, no Bible, no sacrament of any kind. Paul is disturbed by this sight. What faith does the order practice? And we know that Brother Anthony just stated to us as well. Okay. We do know that Brother Anthony also stated that they forbade consecration. There's something in this pew back here. Okay, cool. We know that Brother... Brother... I said Anthony? Andrew. Brother Andrew said that they forbade any sort of... what am I trying to say? They forbade any sort of consecration or daily prayer. So they're clearly not well practicing if they're of this faith. And I believe this faith is probably... It looks like it's supposed... I think they're trying to keep it ambiguous, but it looks like it's supposed to be some form of Catholicism. The cathedral's tabernacle is fashioned from aged varnished mahogany. Its doors are closed, and there doesn't appear to be any way of opening them manually. So then that means there's more than likely something slotted that is meant to go in there. And I'm wondering if I'm supposed to have some, like, topaz or cobalt or something Let's, oh, you have a piece of lapis. Well, okay. So I do have a piece of music, and there is an organ over here. Let's see. I know it said last time that Brother Paul doesn't have any... he's not very good at music, but we have... By means of bellows and pump, the pipe organ is able to play deeply moving music. It has the power to inspire faith and to influence hearts beyond the control of the mind. Should Paul play the organ? Yeah, let's play what we received. Oh, shoot. Okay, let me remember here. I don't think I played that right. Let's try it again. Ooh. Now that I liked. I like that. What I played was not that good, but what played after, I like that. That was nice. You want good music like this, good spooky music, I'm going to go back to it. Castlevania has some of the best. One of my favorites, Chromatash Fantasy. They just ripped it from Bach, literally. Just ripped it straight from Bach and put it into the Game Boy game. The tabernacle is almost empty. There are none of the things that should be there, such as holy water and other ritualistic items. Only a circle of power lying on the lower shelf. I'm going to take the circle of power. Thank you. And oh, now I have a 5-point circle of power, so I no longer can just cast 3. I can now cast 5. Each of the 3-point spells can be powered up by using the power rune. Oh, wow. So now we have 5-point, and we're missing only 1 rune that I can see, and we also did pick up, thanks to some of our more learned viewers when it comes to this one, they showed me how to pick up the Manta Rock rune, which I wanted from the very beginning, and very easily could have missed. So I'm very happy about that. So we're missing one thing here. If I go to craft a new spell, I can now pick a 5-point spell. I could put it under the Manta Rock. I could ask it to, let's see, protect, self, area, and item? Nope, nothing there. So I guess I'll have to work on that, and we'll see what happens, but... So if we have to pick a... I like the fact that I can do that. I don't know yet the spells that need to go into it, so we'll work on it. This chapter worries me more than the others because, again, the tiny... Let's probably save the game, too. Load save, and let's do this guy. There we go. Make a change on my screen because my television decided to change aspect ratio to something that I can't see all the details on. There we go. That won't be a change for you, that'll just be a change for me. Okay. This... So I took an additional circle of power. These look to be stairs, but I can't see. It isn't, they aren't stairs. Was this the room that I came from? This is the room I came from. I hate it because I need to carry a torch, but dang, you know? In regards to a comment you said earlier, this cathedral would have to be Catholicism. It's 1485, and Luther started his reforms in 1517. And that's what that's around kind of the idea. But the problem with it, and it may not be in this particular case, I don't know exactly when we're talking about in terms of game logic and the like, but they tried to dance around a lot of religious take. So a key example of this would actually be in the Castlevania series. In the United States of America, so in the Japanese one, if you look at the intro, they have Dracula, which is how Dracula said. So it's Torakiora. And on the top, they have a Christian cross. In games in America, for some reason, and I'm not sure when the ban might have been lifted, you weren't allowed to put anything that was overtly that. So it seemed like they may try to kind of dance around it. They hint heavily towards what it is, but it seems like they kind of try to dance around it, saying it overtly. But welcome in, and much appreciated for the much appreciated for the additional context. Enjoying a lazy Sunday? Always worth doing, I think. If it is afforded to you, please do take it. We spend too much of our lives stimulated and running around. It is very nice to take a moment to do and enjoy doing nothing. And I'm very flattered that you chose to do spend a little bit of that time, or as much of that time as you're willing, here, conversing and talking with me. Very nice. Okay, I have to remember my way around this cathedral. I believe this is just the balcony. But I think I missed something. I like it. My favorite thing to do on a Sunday is nothing. Or the stream. Either way, I'm appreciative, of course, if it's the latter. If not, I can sympathize and understand. Just enjoying Sunday. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. And again, apologize for having been absent last weekend, but I thought that the holiday to spend with family and such would be nice. Okay, so there's something more to find. I think there's a blue. It's nice. It doesn't get to happen terribly often. Family lives quite a ways away. I live in a state where I live in one of the few states where you can travel an entire day and never have left the state and be driving in a straight line. So, okay, here we are. There's something I noticed something about a picture as well, but I can't tell. I love the art here. I wish there was more. And blue. And I was trying to see if I could pay attention to the colors to see if that happened to correlate with the gemstones that I've picked up, or with the gods, anti-gods, etc. likewise, but it doesn't seem like it. I love that he's also so dedicated to not being proclaimed guilty, despite the fact that we've seen that the people that we're going to be pleading our case to are not exactly great people. Okay, we already took our... I believe that's where we took the ruby from. I can't see the wall there. Okay, so I guess it's going to have to be deeper in here. I can say that this cathedral is much harder to navigate than when it was just Anthony. They've definitely been busy with additions, I guess. I'll slow down. He doesn't have a lot of stamina either, so it's very difficult to run. What an unusual picture to have in a church. A woodcut depicting the effects of a plague. The spirit of death incarnate casts final judgment over a wealth of victims. Yeah, what an interesting... Beautiful. I love it, but it's just interesting to have inside of a church. A lot of churches nowadays of any kind will actually attempt to avoid any overt visages of death. They'll talk about it, but this is unusual. The woodcut shows an act of blasphemy. A host of demons prey upon a human like they were playthings. disemboweled by mocking demons, eaten or tortured by other carnal deviant acts. Okay, so that does explain why they look unusual. I don't see the disemboweling. He still looks to be fairly intact at this point. There's a wash basin. Nothing there. It doesn't look like there's much else. I was going to see if there was something to interact with. It doesn't seem like there's much else to interact with here. And I know I was here before because there's an open chest. So I thought maybe I had missed something. I believe the stamina seems to, or at least it seems to, correlate with health bar on an unforeseen meter. Or an unseen, not unforeseen, excuse me, an unseen meter. So I guess I'm going to go back down here into the basement. Or the undercroft, I assume this is what this would be called. This labyrinthian church is causing me issue. This was, I think, Brother Paul's room. To be honest, at first I didn't want to go to the festival because I wanted to stream, but I think it was pretty worth it to go. So long as it was something that you, in the end, got to enjoy. If it's something different, if it kind of changes the flavor, the variety of the day for you, I think that's always a good thing. We have something similar here. Well, not here. It's about an hour away, but relatively local to us, in the form of a farmer's market and open trades, which we'll attempt to go to every so often. It's really nice. I normally don't go to places like those. Much the same. I much prefer, if I'm going to spend extra time, it's usually going to be, if it's going to be weekend time, it's almost always going to be at a library of sorts. We have a lot of, it's really nice, but about an hour from here, we actually have a fair amount of booksellers. Not as many as we had once upon a long time ago, but and so I usually will spend that time. But even recently, again, the family left us with a ton of great books, so I'm not wanting for books right now. Let's see here. And I know we've been into all of these places, but I'm trying to figure out what it is exactly that have been. The personal effects of a priest are scattered across the shelves: rosary beads, a crucifix, and a variety of other small holy items. Paul believes they must have been Brother Andrew's. So Brother Andrew, we know Brother Andrew's okay. Perhaps he is the custodian. I cannot remember. But we know that he's okay, at least in terms, or we know that at least he's not evil, let's say. The bellows mechanism supplies the organ upstairs with air. It requires an expert hand and attention to keep in working order. That is similar to, we know that kind of from the Norse story of I know we were down here. Brocken Atri. Okay, that one glows blue and that one glows red. Okay, I'm stuck in the doorway. I want to try and go this way. There's nothing here. I know we picked up something from here by sneaking past these, I'm quiet enough that they think I'm a wall. I'm missing something, and I'm not sure what. Can they be magic blasted? They might be able to. I haven't tried it, so I can give it a shot. Let's. I'm worried that they'll warp me if I screw up, though. But I can give it a shot. A wine cask used for maturing wine. The wine inside this one must be very strong, for it seeps through the cask, filling the air with a heady aroma. I cannot drink wine, so y'all take your word for that. Oh, well, I took... Oh, did he kill him? Does it kill them when they do that? Okay, interesting. It's not the worst to be sent here into the Trapper dimension, it's just not my favorite thing. Okay, we're just gonna avoid you at the cost of the sanity, we're fine. Okay, I can't see. It looks like that that it does kill him to do the Trapper thing, so. I feel like one of these casks leads to like an open, like a hidden room. Well, while we're here, we'll see if we can magic blast them. Yeah, basically, yeah, exactly. Well, and Banjo-Kazooie did it as well. I mean, Scooby-Doo definitely was, I think, probably one of the first. Okay, I'm just going to use a 3. It's red, so blue. Wait, spell list. I may already have this spell. Dispel, recover, reveal, enchant, damage field. Probably damage field, right? See if I can get its attention. Oh, there's something over here. No, it's not. Does it just leave me alone altogether? So I knock on the casks to determine if they are. Oh, so okay. So you can prevent yourself from being trapped if you're behind the damage field. And if they use one, they're kind of like a bee. They sting you, and then it's over. That's interesting. Okay, very cool. Aha! Here we are. Knocking on this cask results in a hollow thud. It is empty, but why when all of the other casks are full of maturing wine? Should Paul turn the barrel's spigot? Yes, please do. Alright, that's the only thing that I could think of, because if this didn't work out the way I'd hoped it would, then I was going to be stuck trying to figure out where else to go. Can we go in there, Paul? Okay, so there's the blue gem. Oh, shoot. Okay, so... I can't save. Let's leave. Let's leave. We should be able to save here, in case this is messed up. And then I'm going to use... I'm going to use some of this to get back to full health and such. And then I'm also going to cast if I have enough magic, I'm going to put a shield on myself as well. I shouldn't have done that, but that's okay. Spell list, and we have shield. I have a 5-point, but I think I'm right. Okay, and he's blue. So let's purple. Okay. I could figure it out, but purple will do the trick. Alright, I need to get. Okay, he makes it very difficult to anything. I'm gonna leave again really quickly and try to re-up all that business. I like how the purple guy just kind of sounds like a normal guy. Like you have the echoey voices and such, and then you end up getting the... Okay. Let's try this again with some gusto. Hits me immediately with a burst of sanity, then hits me in the face. I need out of the way. I need out of the... I needed out of the way. I couldn't get out of the way. So, the problem with it is there's no good weapon. The problem with Purple Shield is it protects all stats, so it gets used up off of sanity attacks. Yeah, I'm guessing that you're probably right. Probably a red shield. Probably the Chaturga shield, right? Because I'm boy, that was a weird stutter. I bit my tongue and I stuttered as a result of that. I apologize. I'm getting hit with the... that was almost like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel thing. I never watched Yu-Gi-Oh! But the intro I've seen one too many times. But anyway, the... I'm getting hit with the sanity effects, but I have a much larger sanity bar than I have a health bar. So if I can prioritize my health, take the damage on the sanity side of it, I might be able to get a couple extra whacks in. I want to use the I feel like using the crossbow makes sense, but I also at the same time don't feel like it does all that well either. Only spells I never use purple or shield in recovery. Yeah, because I imagine recovery for it takes the entire magic bar. Okay, so let's do that then. Let's do a red shield. Shield cast. We'll just do 3-point and alignment red. Okay, let's walk in there and just hit him a bunch. See, he does the sanity damage. I can't seem to hit him, though. He's not really doing all that much. Oh, there he goes. Okay, I don't know what. He just stood still for a moment there, for no good reason. He just stood still. So he only hit me once. I found a sapphire. Okay, that makes much. I don't know how that happened. Let's finish him for the sanity back. Bludgeon his incorporeal form. Yeah, he was doing the magic blast thing, hitting the sanity, but like he didn't, like the last time he would shoot the magic blast and he'd swipe at me every single time. And he wasn't he swiped at me only once this time, even though he decided to magic blast me. He only swiped at me once. That's what I was expecting him to do, but he didn't, so yeah. He didn't hurt my sanity that much. We'll take the rest of that little bit of health back. There's a massive granite vault covered with hideous, carved with hideous bas-reliefs. Scratch marks running along the floor make it appear that the crypt has been moved many times, which tells me that there's probably a secret door under it. If he failed again, I would have suggested enchanting weapon. That could have been. I could have done that. This pedestal has 3 small indentations adorning its top, arranged in a circular formation. Each socket appears to be waiting for something. So each socket would be waiting for the gems, no doubt, that I have acquired. And I'm glad that I happen to know which ones go into which holes. Also, these look less to be cut like that, and more to be actual just full cylinders in this. Okay, so I thought I was in the Undercroft, but truly now I am finding the Undercroft. This pedestal has 3 small indentations. Okay, so colored gems fill the indentations, forming a triangle. I love the organ piece. If you missed it and you haven't played this game, after you play the organ piece that plays is the organ piece that plays is great. Oh, it's a little one. Oh, he's not little. I'm going to take some of the sanity back from you. I have a meditation rod, but I've not needed to use it yet. Because Paul has a pretty... There we go. Paul has a pretty substantial ability to restore sanity via spell. I guess the suggestion here is that holy men have more of a magical, mystical quality, I guess. Okay, there's a rune there. Okay, I need to not get stuck here. If I have to open the door, I suppose I can open it. Let me back in the... I'm gonna go back that way. Ow. Him having such a small life bar is very problematic. Okay, you could swing... So if you don't know what happened just there, I didn't get a single hit in. They just killed each other because they were so bottlenecked. Yeah, I didn't. They were so bottlenecked that they ended up killing each other, and they couldn't, just like I couldn't get a hit in on them, they couldn't get a hit in on me. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna run. I got the rune, that's all I need. I don't need them. There are more here, I can hear them. But they're the smaller ones, thankfully. It's very, very difficult to get a hit in on a lot of these guys. Even with the lock-in, you run the risk of hitting a stone something in the way. Yeah. Yeah, they can hit each other. So, I mean, I've done it. I did it on purpose. Not that this time I did not at all. I did it on purpose in the, oh, I can't remember his name. The gentleman that had the swords, that I picked up the large sword with. I did it on purpose with them. I stood up and let them do the... Hey! It's about 600 Ewoks. How you doing? Kareem, thank you, yes. Or Karam, I'm not sure if it said... I'd say Kareem, but it could be Karam. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm imagining that you're probably enjoying this weekend. As I don't know about for you, but for me, certainly. The last 2 weeks were very busy and very hectic. Okay, so blue wins. And I can't remember, I think blue is weak to green, yes? So if that's right, then let's do what your suggestion was. Yeah. I'm not excited for, I mean, I do miss early Fridays. Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's, I don't know, it'll be nice when the weather cools, it'll be nice when everyone else settles down. Everybody else, you know who I'm talking about. All right, let's see. So let's do spell list. Spell list. Enchant item. Cast this. Green, I think, would be right. And we'll do it to the mace that I'm holding. I didn't mean to hit that button. Come on, Paul. Come on. Okay, that's fine. We'll get it. Is it green that is? It's green to blue, right? Okay. Okay. You were hitting his weakness? Okay. Alright, that's the... We'll try this again. It's funny to imagine 600 Ewoks. Well, it's not quite 600. It's about 600. Maybe 603, maybe 597. You never know. About. I like the name too, though. I think it's great. What do we have? 1010? 1010. Excuse me about 6. No, I'm being silly on the technical side of things. Speaking of which, I think we may have talked about this. I'm not sure about 600 Ewoks. Oh, really? Okay, well that's fine. I'll take your advice this time, and we'll do the enchant weapon piece. And red is what we decided, I think. Yes. So let's do that. They've got a projector set up. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it'd have to be. Let's go ahead and I've got the mace equipped. Let's do spell list. Current enchant item. Cast this red. The mace, please. Nope, that's torch. I guess the question that I have is, how did you feel, now that it's all said and done and over, about the Acolyte? See, now that he decided to be much more aggressive this time. So, it's Paul is definitely the hard mode of the game with a life bar that's only big enough to take about 5 or 6 hits from a large enemy. But anyway, yeah, I'm curious if I don't remember if we had talked about it or hadn't talked about it, but all right, let's do the other one again. Spell list, shield, cast. Okay, might be beneficial to do both. Okay, he did a swing, but he's still kind of just stuck there. Okay, kind of. Yeah, so for some reason, whenever I do the shield, the Chaturga shield, he seems to just stick there for some reason. I know, I got it to lock on for a moment there. But I have the worst time trying to get it to do that. Alright, we'll do all of our healing and stuff in a minute. Okay, we already know what this is, so all we have to do. Well, let's do our healing now, because our sanity's hurting. You can see how crooked that our screen is, and if our screen is incredibly crooked, we might have to play this with what I would call tiptoe saves. Okay. I do wish that the one criticism that I have on the game is I do wish that the menu was a little... I wish that when you were supposed to use something, it'd be like, hey, do you want to use these that you have? I know that it's probably for puzzles, to make puzzles a little bit more... you have to think about them. And I can respect that, but I think after a certain point, we all know what goes in the slots. Okay, so I think we're going to tiptoe save a little bit here, because I don't want to get stuck at this part indefinitely. If I'm going to get stuck at a part, I would rather it be with someone like Kareem than Paul, because we all know that Paul... yes, yeah. We all know that Paul is... with his low life bar is a burden when it comes to combat. You can see I'm not even hit in some of these cases too. I'm not even okay, they can't hit me in the cutscene. In some of these cases, I'm not even getting stuck on a wall. Like, there's no collision article in front of me, and yet I'm still having trouble getting a solid swing in. Not sure what its exact contemporaries are. I'm not sure. Using items for... Oh, I see what you were giving that... You were stipulating. Using items from the menu might just have been the standard of the time. It could have been. I just think that there are instances in the game where it says, hey, you have sheet music. Do you want to play the organ? And it assumes that you know that you're going to use the sheet music you picked up. And I'm sitting there going, you've just picked up 3 gems, there are 3 holes. I assume that that's probably also fairly intuitive. But you could be right. I mean, I don't know. Oh, that wasn't what I meant to hit, but that's okay. There we go. So this is probably the best shot we're going to have. So let's... Again, we're tiptoeing. We're tiptoe saving, but I'm okay with it. Just permits me to not... Again, with someone with this low life bar. It's just a pain. Alright. I'm not even looking at you guys. Luther, how did you lose sanity off of that? See, I have trouble. Right now, I'm trying to target any of them. And I can get the torsos targeted. Okay. There's a head. There we go. It almost did it. That hit would have killed me, so I wanted to make sure I'm okay. Okay. Let's beat these guys in real quick. And this actually worked a little bit better than last time, because I actually was able to kill him, so I can take a look at the room for a moment. Doesn't look like there's anything that I need. We have a little bust down here, but I don't know. It doesn't look like anything about that. Okay. Well, I guess nothing to be done there. We need to take a look at the new rune, though. That's the last one we were missing, which is a questionable. Yeah, it's the only one we have that's a questionable rune. And because I have ones that I know restore me, I'm not going to do it because it's very possible it could be a damage, and if I put a self-damage, then that would be unfortunate. So I can get torsos some of the time, arms most of the time. Okay, there he goes. I hit his head by luck, but not by targeting. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna let red and blue fight and see if blue wins again or if red wins. Well, blue won already. Is it always blue that wins? I wonder. Okay. One more little tiptoe save. And I'm sure you probably picked it up, but if you're wondering why I call it tiptoe saves, it's they're one little soft step in front of the other. And then now, let's go ahead and go to the spell page, spell list. Let's do 2. Let's shield myself green. And let's also enchant my weapon in green. Can I not run 2 spells simultaneously? Yes, I can, so I have no idea why that was. I can get it to hit his torso, but his head I can't. Alright, run. Real quick, I just want to give one more while I can, and then no, it's still tough. I don't get it. So maybe a green shield. Yeah, I was saying it doesn't seem to do very much. Doesn't seem to do very much. But a purple shield takes everything, right? And blue losing the red one losing to blue each time tells me that the red one isn't strong against this red. So I could do a purple shield, but we tried that last time and that didn't work very well. I'm wondering if a purple item enchant would work. I mean, because that's the only thing that's gonna. The green one would be the only thing that, I mean, I could technically do a blue shield, right? But that wouldn't do me. I guess I could do a blue shield, right? Could do a blue shield with the green item enchant. But I mean, that shield's going to be eaten up pretty quickly. So let's do that. Shield cast this blue. Because he's doing mostly blue attacks, right? So he's gonna use the heck out of that pretty quickly. Enchant the item, cast that, and give it a green one. Mace. Now we've got that. Pass into here. Okay, trying to target ahead. Trying to target ahead. Trying to target anything that would be ahead. Luther also has the wide... Okay, that worked well. Luther also has the widest swing arc. Hey, I found crossbow bolts. The widest swing arc of any man I've ever known to use a mace. And if your question is, you've known men to use a mace? Yes, I have. And they didn't swing the whole arm in a wide corridor and hit the wall. Oh, it's a coin slot tombstone. An effigy of a monk reclining on a sacrificial altar. A deep groove bisects its chest. The monk's face looks almost exactly like the custodian. The inscription reads, "Only when thy friend is sacrificed, when his cries fill the air, will the great door be open to thee. The great doors be open to thee." Oh, really? Does that mean I'm going to have to kill the custodian? He's up in the bell tower. One more tiptoe save because that was a lot. $13 it is. Okay. That was my fault. My gigantic thumb hits the one thing I love the GameCube. I don't care for the GameCube controller. Because the buttons are laid out in a way that I have fairly large hands, very big thumbs, and I will hit A and B at the same time. And it'll go, "Oh, no, you meant to swing, didn't you?" No, I did not. Okay. So now we're in the Undercroft's. I mean, we keep going deeper. Okay, this is fine. Uh-oh, these are the ones that go, boom. Okay, I can finish that one. I don't know if they can go boom without their heads, actually, because they have this, the glowing stuff that comes out of their mouth and their eyes. Alright, that worked a little better than I thought, because I guarantee one blow from them, and I mean that literally, one little explosion from them would be a nightmare. I found some crossbow bolts. This looks like it used to be kind of... Okay. Arcane documents and treatments of the demonic arts. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Paul daren't touch them for fear of the taint of evil. But we're holding a tome literally called the Tome of Eternal Darkness. You're afraid of the occultist's books, but you are carrying the tome literally called the Tome of Eternal... Okay. Fine. As further proof of the heresy within this dark cathedral, a table bears arcane documents. Diagrams and sigils pertaining to demonic craft are scattered across the recently used table. Oh, he daren't touch those either. A very ornate door for down here. Oh, it's a shelf. The shelf appears to be recessed into the wall, not quite as flush as the others in the room. Almost as if it could slide inward. Should he slide it? No, it's fine. Okay, so I need a shortcut back to the... Uh-oh. Alright, let's take a look at... What's this? Let's get some more health real quick. I'm going to take a brief intermission after this chapter, I'll tell you that much, because good lord. It'll be very brief, but my goodness, this is... His is so much more tedious. There we go, there's a head. Target. I'm trying... Let's target some... Oh, come on. Paul, I need you to... Paul. Oh, there was a head target. There's a... Come on. There you go. No, that's... Just go back, Paul. We'll try again. It could be that I'm just not very good at the targeting system. It could be that the controls are wonky. It could be a lot of things. But no matter what it could be, what it absolutely is tedious with him. Because he has such... His magic bar is big enough that I can refill the health bar a time or two. But it's so tedious because the health bar is so small that about 5 or 6 hits are all that he can sustain from... I would consider this to be a medium enemy. Okay. Alright. Yeah, this is a medium enemy right here. That was a small enemy, that was a medium enemy, and then those big ones, like we had the trouble with the blue and the red ones, those would be what I'd consider a large enemy. And I'm sure they get bigger, but good lord. Okay, so here we have more. Okay, there was a head target, but it's because I'm in it's because I'm in a room where pressing forward is the same as vertical targeting. See? So I didn't have any issue with that. That makes me happy. Okay, so now we have whatever this is. It looks like a helm. Tucked into a niche within the wall, a stone tablet. Oh, so it probably tells me what that rune is. It does. Pargon, it looked to be. By adding Pargon runes to a spell, it can be powered up, intensifying its effects. So Pargon is power, so we actually have the ability to do a 5-point spell. These are the deities which we can invoke, and then these are what we can do. So Pargon is power, that would be a 5th, so I'd have to figure out how to do... So it would be the deity, Manta Rock, for example, in our case, or whomever else might be needed, but let's just say Manta Rock. Or, yeah, Manta Rock. And then what we're attempting to... Okay, alright, this is neat. Now for a 5-minute upgrade, all spells intermission. Is that how that works? Okay. Well, I don't have a 4-point, so the question is, how do I do it with a 5-point? Let's try it. Okay. This is going to sound nerdy, and it's probably boring to watch, but I really kind of do love the little like chemistry elements of the let's experiment with this. I do like that. I know it's probably boring to watch, but I really do think it's cool. So let's just try it with what we already have. We know we have Self, Paragon, I just want to try it really quickly to fix what we have. Because what happens if I put the same into 2 things, right? Okay, alright, so let me look at my... I just want to take a look at this real quick. I won't do the whole thing. Recover, check. So it's Narrowcath and Santec. So Narrowcath, oops. Chiturga, Paragon, Santec, Narrowcath, and then let's do Paragon again. Okay. So I can do a 5-point recovery spell. Alright, and I'll do that also with the Sanity and the Magic Recover, I think, and then I'll probably call that good. For the time being. It would be cool if they would automatically let that be the upgrade, but I understand why they didn't. Let's see something else real quick. Recover. Oh, we'll do it with, Oh, you do kind of have to do it with all of them, don't you? Oh, that's a bugger. Check. Bankarok, Santec. Okay. Can I just do it with all? Can I just do it? Paragon. Bankarok. Okay. Narrowcath. Okay, I'm just going to leave it there for now. We'll do more later. Okay. A torn diary page has been placed on the shrine. Okay. Let's read that. Diary page. Diary page 3. I missed one somehow. The Diary of Brother Andrew, page 3. With a shudder, my heart turned to ice. I came to the brutal realization that the entire order were heretics, and that I was in incredible jeopardy. Who knows how long they had kept their dark secret, masquerading as custodians the hand of Jude, when in fact they guarded a damnable relic, the essence of the unholy Ulioth, and used it to lure potential victims to their hideous sacrifice. I felt sick, and despite my faith, I felt intense fear and hopelessness. I know that I must escape this place before they suspect my knowledge. I must warn the world and notify the real Inquisition of their presence. Knowing death is just around the corner and fearing every moment, I commit these words to paper. Augustine will find this book. I will remove certain pages and hide them so that all who may follow might discover the truth before it's too late. So this entire clan are devotees to Ulioth, which I believe is the blue one. A blasphemous shrine stands at the edge of the room, dedicated to an unholy god. Paul can sense its evil and finds it difficult to approach. Okay. That's a really cool little... It makes it whisper. So it's like the voices inside of your head are making it uncomfortable for you too. And so we're not going to touch any of the books in here because evil. So the problem we now have is we know the dirty secret, but this custodian, we need to go back and talk to the custodian, and then I think we're going to have to burrow back down, yeah? Oh wait, there's another door here. Oh well. We have no, we don't. We have a key, but it's not going to be this is not a podium, so. All right, fine. Hold on, really quickly. It says it's bisected. I don't think that's the way to do it. Okay. That's also not a podium, but you know, never hurts to check. Old point and click logic. Try this with this on this all the time. If you've ever played, if you're a point and click fanatic, by the way, this game does have some of those elements these do have some of the elements to it pretty heavily. It looks like was inspired by some of the point and click. Like if you've played like the point and click Sierra games or the LucasArts games or some of the others. Yeah. I think by podium they meant lectern. Well, and it could be, but I can't seem to, it doesn't let me do anything with, well, I could be wrong as well, but the main lectern doesn't show me an option to do anything, so unless I've already done it, it just doesn't show me if that's where I got something else. Like I opened the tabernacle, but that was the organ needed it, not Oregon, excuse me. Oregon is a state of being. Oh, that's not the right door, that's the living quarters. So now I feel like I need to go back and talk to the custodian. I have enough evidence in the form of the diary page of Brother Andrew. Brother Andrew, by the way, is the murdered party. I have to remember what direction. All right, Paul. I have enough evidence in at least having page 3 that they are a Ulioth okay, I'll go to it, because this would be... You encounter... The thing about it is, right here, that's the table. That's not really a podium, but you do encounter several podia through this whole thing, right? So I don't... The lecterns to the sides of the altar? Let's look. If it'll let me. Because as I say, on this, maybe let's take a look back here really quickly just to make sure I haven't missed. Like right there, we've got the stairwell. Okay, I see what you're saying. Maybe this. Okay, yep, I gotcha. A simple podium and lectern provides a platform for the priest giving a sermon to his congregation. There is a drawer recessed inside. Yep. Okay, yeah, there we go. So that makes it a little bit, let's make it a little bit more. Let's use that. Open the drawer. That's probably where page 1 is, isn't it? Yep. Yeah, we're going to take that. That's page 1. So that's what I was missing. Let's take a look and see if there's another one over here. Again, you encounter... Okay, there's not one here. You encounter a couple of podia, so... It was difficult for me to figure out. Let's go ahead and read page 1. We know page 3 is the confession that they are the cult of Ulioth. Or Ulioth. Ulioth? I think it doesn't matter either way. Page 1. I have finally arrived at the Amens, and my pilgrimage to the Hand of Jude draws to a close. I cannot wait to lay eyes upon the sacred relic. My journey here has been arduous, and it shall be good to relax for a while in this peaceful village. Amiens is full of good people, strong in their faith and their role in our world. My goodness, we just read page 3, so this is a complete shock. If the blight of witchcraft is present in this world, then I doubt it is in Amiens. Okay, so that is stark contrast to what we read literally 2 pages later. So you found the truth very quickly, Brother Andrew. I need to remember how to... Nope, this is the... The layout of this church is very confused, which, again, in a lot of games that try to have this kind of spooky, off-putting environment, they intentionally make everything kind of labyrinthian. Okay, I thought I saw something glowing there on the edge of the pew. They intentionally try to make everything kind of labyrinthian so that it becomes a little overwhelming, because there's a natural... let's go back to Torch for now. There's a natural... discomfort that comes for a lot of people when there's a natural discomfort that comes for a lot of people when being disorientated, and so if it seems, sometimes if it's labyrinthine, it can seem naturally more overwhelming, and that makes stress in some people. It also just makes frustration in some people. So okay, you know, I don't stress if I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go find. I don't care. I'll find it eventually. It's just gonna take me some time. It's gonna take me as long as it takes me. That's the room that Anthony was in. So I have to remember how to get to the bell tower. My arm itches. There we are. Okay. No door there. Alright, Paul. Breathe. I understand, like, that you're supposed to live a life of, like, abstinence and celibacy and all of these things, but it doesn't mean you have to abstain from... Oh, you know, I know where it is. It doesn't mean you have to abstain from physical work, you know? You should probably consider, you know, going on a short sandaled run or something like that. I don't know. Doesn't that look interesting? A somber portrait of a monk stares icily from the wall. Something about those grim, staring eyes sparks doubt and suspicion in Paul. Is this the face of a holy man? It is the face of an oddly shaped man. I will say that. Okay, so maybe the bell tower was this other one over here? Yeah, okay, this seems more likely. There we go. Now I think we're on the right track. And back up the stairs. Okay, here we go. Now we've acquired enough.
Augustine all along. I managed to find remnants of his journal, and it all points to Augustine's involvement with a paganistic cult operating inside.
The cathedral's dark secret has been uncovered. I too suspected this, but was too afraid to act. Augustine himself is a heretic.
Claiming that the sacred relic, the Hand of Jude, was stored here. He had those who came to see it murdered.
Ooh, okay, so that's kind of an interesting.
Never existed.
Trap closes, brother. My days here are numbered. I awoke to find this cruel dagger placed upon my pillow this morning.
Okay.
Can only mean one.
I found it in my chest this morning.
And they are moving to silence me.
I woke up to find a sharp, jagged pain right here in my left spleen.
Please, take this thing away from me. Be to no end.
You notice they put the little wibbity thing in the top of the blade?
Oh, that's all you have.
I think that's what I meant to stab into the tomb. Okay, I'm gonna run back up real quick. I just want to see. Oh, okay, so they didn't kill him, they just warped him out of existence. I was gonna see if there was something left behind. I think this is my thing, and they kind of did it. I think that they needed to, if they wanted to make a Paul part, having a little bit of combat, I think is good, is fine, and they do. But I think they also maybe should have tried to just kind of make it focus on the puzzles. And so this one, I think the puzzles maybe should have been a little harder, and the combat should have been a little less frequent. That's what I would have done if I were making a little fleur-de-lis. Nah. Oh no, that's the wrong. I'm just gonna run by you for now. I've got a long trek back. They kind of did do that. They kind of made it so that the puzzles it's more puzzle heavy, less combat heavy. But in this one, you also are encountering, you know, 2 of those really large beasts, and you're encountering several of the, you have a runic enemy in there and such. I think, again, with Paul, I think what I would have probably done is said, you know what, let's just do puzzles. You have 3 of those big guys. Okay. No, upstairs is just the bookshelf. Yeah, I'm just gonna try and... Okay, Paul, I need you to run, buddy. I gotta remember... Okay. It's a little weird. It's a little weird to be trying to discover if a place is involved in unholy forces when it is openly covered in the undead. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's like, I've got to prove this, and then you walk inside of the chapel and you've got all of these guys, right? Okay. We don't need to fight him though. There's no reason to. So I'm just going to. Was able to get a nice little head target there. Good. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like I said, I think with this, I think what I would have said should be done is just focus more on the puzzles. Like this could have been the perfect, I think, the one of the more perfect examples of like a good murder mystery. Where it's like, oh, who killed Brother Andrew? And then you have a little bit of combat, you know, here and there to kind of spice things up. But for the most part, it's just trying to figure out, like, who killed Brother Andrew? Okay. I gotta remember that doesn't go where I think it goes each time. This is where I need to go. But I have no doubt that since I've cleared all of that out, they're gonna go, oh, well, no, you didn't actually. No, I always go in there. They're gonna go, oh, no, you didn't clear it out. Here are all of the new manifestations. And you're like, come on. I now know that it's the Ulioth cult. Be quiet, Luther. I'm hoping that I look back, though, because this has not been bad. I'm hoping I look back at it and say this was the worst part of it. Okay. Now we're fine. We're going down here. You know, low life bar, awkward, tight corridors with too lanky weapon. Like this would be perfect too. Just these little skeletons for the combat, just to kind of make you feel like you're doing something. Okay. Okay, so now we can see what the bust is for. It's doing the same thing that it does to Alex, which I expected it might. But I wasn't sure, and we've lost enough sanity to see that that is indeed the case. Okay. Well, okay, that's fine. Beat it in with that. Alright, so before I do this, I am going to go ahead and save because I don't know what's coming. This is not a tiptoe save because it actually has been a minute since I saved last. 14. We'll see how many minutes to be exact. 46. So see that? Look at that. That's a almost half-hour swath without saving, according to the game. Let's... We'll just use the 3 points because they restore 2 to take him halfway up, 5 to fill the whole bar. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so I think use the sacrificial knife. Okay, that's an interesting little mechanic, a little locking mechanism, I mean. I wonder, the question is, I did that without looking. Was he teleported into that? The monk in this effigy has been sacrificed. A dagger protrudes from a deep groove within his chest. The echoes of his scream still reverberate in Paul's ear. So he could still hear the scream. Okay, so we've got some Chaturga stuff going on here. Paul's progress forward is blocked by a corrosive spell. Obviously someone wants to keep intruders at bay, and this lethal magic is just the way to do it. So I need a 5-point dispel magic spell, is what that tells me. Most probably. So what I need to firstly do is check this and see what it has, which is Nethlic and Red Gormer. And then 5-point Nethlic, Red Gormer, Paragon. So let's use that one. Dispel magic. All right. That was, instead of me looking like a complete doofus, that actually was what I needed. I would have been fine looking like a complete doofus also, but that was cool. I will say that is one of the things too, is there are so many, excuse me, different like spells and such, that when you know what they are, it does seem a little bit cooler. It does seem like when you're like, I know this, because like think about it, when you're doing normal stuff, it's like, okay, I know that I do this and this and this, but you have 5 rune, you have 3 rune, you have, and it's like, oh, when I know this spell, I do this spell. You missed some tedium, and then we found out that they are a cult of Ulioth, and then stuff like that. Mostly that. Some fighting, some silly. We're here also now, which feels pretty endgamey for Paul. Oh, who is this? That I know who that is. That's the guy. That's okay. That's also our custodian died. Lying in a pool of his own blood is the custodian, Paul's only ally in this fight against the darkness. His soul no doubt lingers, fused to the altar on which his life has been taken, watching over his own rapidly cooling corpse, feeling all hope escape him. Paul's situation is suddenly 1,000 times more desperate than before. Now he is alone against the darkness.
You are a clever man, Brother Luther. Your new position as fugitive. You seek them out, and this is what you find.
So the question is, how devout is he?
Such finds a viper's nest of heresy when he finds a source of corruption.
His voice sounds familiar to me also.
Irony of what you, masquerading as a member of for, and that you stand for evil.
So this is interesting. Are they saying in this canon?
Merely a perspective which no longer concerns me, Luther.
Okay, I don't know about the concerns you part, but evil being a perspective is true. I agree with that.
After we have
hold on, I want to see this really quickly, and then I'm gonna ask a question.
In the name of our true Lord, Chaturga.
Oh, okay. So wait a minute. So does that change based on the deity that I chose at the very beginning? Because Andrew wrote it as Ulioth. But they did use a Chaturga seal that I used a Ulioth seal to break. Am I going to have to fight my way back out of this? Oh, son of a gun. What am I carrying? Am I carrying a torch or a mace? I'm carrying the mace. Here. Oh, son of a gun. Okay, that's fine. I saved not too far. His diary said they have the essence of Ulioth as a relic. Okay, I see. So question, for anybody who's familiar, for history buffs out there, around this time the Inquisitions, anybody who's familiar with Inquisition knows that the Inquisition was an awful, awful thing to occur. Effectively, it was not heresy, it was zealotry of the highest regard, where people were tortured for not converting, and generally there are different thoughts about what inspired it. They talked about the Inquisition being invaded by evil. So the question that I guess I have is, are they saying that the Inquisitions were actually a good thing, almost like let's say a polite thing, almost kind of like maybe if they were to proselytize, versus okay, let's let that happen real quick. Versus what they actually did, which was basically maim and kill and torture. That's a curiosity I have. New spell. Ulioth. What did I say it was? Paragon, Red Gormer, and I think it was Project. Antorbach? Was that what it was? Nope, that was Spell 9. Son of a gun. Hold on. Nethlic, okay. Oh yeah, Dispel. Yeah, so are they saying that these are the evil people? Are they saying that that's what happened, was that those were the evil people and that was the reason? No, not check. That the Inquisitions ended up being so awful? There we go. So I'm guessing I'm going to have to fight my way back out, which is a bit of a bummer. That's okay.
You are a clever man.
Is it going to let me...
Wanting answers to clarify your new position.
If I don't this time, then I need to...
And this is what you find.
Because I don't want to go through this all again. I'll need to save. I won't be able to save immediately because I'll have the bad guys there.
Does a man such as yourself think of when he finds a viper's nest of heresy? When he finds the
I'll have to do the video either way.
Irony.
You can't skip it.
What you, masquerading as a member of the Inquisition, stand for. And that you stand for...
It's also not very fair that I criticize him when I've been using Chaturga to heal this whole time.
Concerns me, Luther. You will be executed in the most painful manner imaginable. Body and mind, in the name of our true Lord, Chaturga. Come, my children, feast on this morsel, and let us read.
As a monk, Luther would have his own biased view of the Inquisition. Oh, of course. But I'm curious as to whether or not that they want to justify the Inquisition in that way, because you have... like, that was the thing, right? We're talking about post-Council of Trent. We're talking about the indoctrinations that occurred as a result of the Council of Trent, right? You have a whole bunch of people that effectively believed that what they were doing was... okay. You have a whole bunch of people that effectively believe that they decided what one religion was going to be, and then they decided that was going to kind of be the world religion. And then you have a whole bunch of people that basically did the Inquisition or committed the Inquisition as an essential part of that. And so he would have been biased in favor of that, but arguably the Inquisition wouldn't have been as evil if how am I trying to say this? He would be biased towards the Inquisition, but I think that if he were to see tortures, like he's been seeing here, like he saw the custodian do, I think he would look at that and go, "Oh well, no, that's not probably good." So I wonder if they're saying that the Chaturga sect kind of said, "Well, these are the sacrifices we need. This is what we actually need," and they kind of did that. Anyway, I don't know. A bit of a random question, but have you ever been interested in studying law in your life? I asked this because I've recently gotten into Ace Attorney. Professionally, I thought about that for a while, for a short amount of time, a long time ago. Bearing in mind, I've not been in college for a great long time. But for a while, I thought about that, and then I realized that while I like law, and I like knowing the law, I don't like the thought of having to protect clients that I believe are guilty, and you don't technically have to do that, but your livelihood is tied to it. So if I had somebody that I believe was guilty, well, I could decline them as a client. That could give me a bad reputation. There are literally attorneys out there who will tell you that they knew that their client did it, and they got them off of the hook, basically, and they say it after the case is done, so you can't try them again, because that's like double jeopardy in a lot of cases. You can't try them again. And I don't like that. I think, if you have somebody that, like, for example, involuntary manslaughter, oh, I got him off with 6 months of community service. No, that person accidentally or otherwise killed somebody. They need to be punished in a something befitting the loss of a life. So I kind of decided against it in that time. The Ace Attorney games are great, though. They're really fun. I do enjoy those. Get off! You frustrate me, boy. Okay, I need to... Okay. Why can I not... Why can they reach me, but I can't reach them? Their reach is so much better than mine. Okay, that's alright, though. We'll save it right before the cutscene, so that... But you can't... I wish you could skip the cutscene. I will say, so far, though, Brother Luther's part is the most tedious still. Must be hard for lawyers, especially defense people, to have to choose between getting money and trying to help clients that they know are innocent. That's the thing. Like, if I think that a client... So, for example, let's put it into this context. If I have somebody that I know... Nope. If I have somebody that I know committed a crime asking for me to protect them, I wouldn't want to do that. But I don't mind taking on... Like, if somebody was charged with something and I genuinely believed that they were innocent, then I would feel... I would want to do that. But the problem is that those are probably 50-50. So... That's why I don't think I'd like to do it. Being a lawyer is one of the... Yeah, it definitely can be. And it depends. I mean, obviously, you don't have to get into criminal defense law. You can get into other law. But it always comes down to the same thing. You're advocating for somebody that might espouse a position that you don't agree with. And so as a result of that, you end up having to take it on anyway, because... As if you did believe it. Because... Let's do this real quick. And then... Both the time you spend studying for it and actually doing it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, in most other professions... In several other professions, you don't really have to believe... everybody, for example, if you're in a business like mine, I don't have to believe that everybody in my business is doing what is the best thing or doing the best thing or any of this. I don't have to believe any of that. What I do have to do is I have to believe that what I'm doing is okay. And if I were an attorney trying to defend somebody who I didn't believe was innocent, then I feel like that I would... I feel like I would feel bad by proxy, like I would have done the wrong thing. So, I don't think the law... I mean, and the thing is, the law does change. I mean, there's definitely a lot of the nuances. But yeah. Reminds me of when I tried to watch Suits because it was on Netflix, but quit because I felt like it was glorifying villain protect. Yeah, that's a great... There's a guy... He's on the internet. I can't think of what his name is, and even if it is, someone, I'm sure people... But it was shouted out by a prolific YouTube podcast, and it was literally him going out at the end of court cases and going, yeah, I did this, and I did this, and I did this, or this person did this, and this, and this, and I got him off with only this. And I'm sitting there going, I would want you as my attorney if I were a criminal. But like, if I do a bad thing, I want to get I want the best obviously I want the best possible outcome for myself. But if I commit manslaughter because I was drunk, which is against the law, that's my negligence. May not have intended to kill anybody, but my negligence and the choices that I made to remain negligent are my fault. I have to serve a penalty for that. It doesn't need to be, oh, well, he got 3 weeks of community service. That needs to be a little something more substantial, because there's a family that's not going to get their whatever back, their mom, their dad, their kid, you know. I'm not for that. So I couldn't reconcile. See, this is where it gets... There we go. I'm going to save it after this, too, because I don't want to accidentally screw up and then get go through that cutscene again. I will heal, though. I'm sure you can appreciate this just because I don't want to go through that cutscene a fourth time, or a fifth time. I can't remember how many I've gone through it now. So... but I couldn't reconcile that myself. Again, the other thing about it is the opposite, though, to be fair. There are going to be times where people believe that what they've done is the most evil thing, and I'm going to look at it and go, I don't think that's that bad. And then it's going to have to be my job to convince a person that, you know, that believes that they've done something that's really bad, that it's not that bad. And it is basically belief system. You take law, obviously, but it is also belief systems based on... Uh-oh. Did I just go in here now? I feel like something big is going to go down, and then I'm going to have to escape the chapel again. It's going to be a run for the front door. This door... Okay. This door is decorated more than most within the catacombs. Sensing an immense evil behind this door, Paul wonders if the ceremony the monk mentioned earlier is taking place behind it. Yeah, if I can. I guess I could technically just leave. This looks a lot more modern, too, with the... I wonder if that's an option, if I could actually just go to the front door of the chapel and have left instead of following this. But who could, like, in their right mind? Paul is a pious man, so I have to follow in suit of his piety. With, or piousness, I guess, I suppose. Piety is a form of government. That he would see this through to the very end, even if it meant the end of him. Alright, there's no way that Paul is taking this guy.
This is the one that seeks to do combat with me.
Yeah, I agree.
Your task, my liege and greater guardian, is to guard this place. Do not worry. He yelps in terror at the sight of your mightiness. We will dispose of him ourselves.
I'm not going to fight with you. You'll kill me too. You were a centurion. Okay, that's about right.
I am to guard this place. Then I will do it as I see fit.
That's probably fair too.
Leave me, and I will guard the artifact.
Yeah, I that's probably fair. He's pretty big. The other problem with it is Paul is an ancestor of ours. We have to hope he has. We have to hope he had a sister or something, because there's no way he would have been celibate his entire life until he died. Oh, we got a note from Edward all of a sudden. All right. So, really quickly, I'm going to take a brief intermission so that I might borrow the lavatory. I hope everybody will permit me a moment of respite and relief. And so let's do this. I think this is the right screen. Yeah, there we go. And we'll bring you some music, and I'll be right back. right. Let's fade that down a little bit. Hopefully that wasn't too long. Or it didn't take too long, rather. All right. Let's move us back. I don't know why the transitions are... they're supposed to be glitchy, but that's a little much. I'm not sure why, but I'll take a look at it at some point. So we're losing sanity every time we read, and we're losing more sanity each time we read, even though I recover it all the way back. So let's read this note from Edward. Oh, and he wrote it to me. My dearest Alex, I am glad that you have followed... Whoops. My dearest Alex, I am glad that you have followed my paper trail thus far. I knew I could depend on you. This will be the hardest part of your journey. Look for the 88 keys to continue your journey into the past. Your loving grandfather, Edward. Okay, so 88 keys would be a piano. That's pretty easy. And I'm going to go ahead and bring all of my sanity back because I feel like she has the puzzle side of things for the most part. And I like that. I like that she's not really dealing a ton with even though we have the Gladius and such, that she's not really dealing... Well, she's dealing mostly with the puzzle elements. So I want to keep her sanity up so we don't have to deal with the horror elements. Again, for some reason, this is the painting that always unsettles me the most. All of the rest of them are fine. So the 88 keys... are certainly the piano. I have to remember where the piano is, though. And I chose poorly. No, I didn't. There it is. Seeing the piano stirred up distant recollections of Paul Luther's story in Alex's mind. The echoes of those notes within the cathedral echo also within her own consciousness. Her hands are drawn to the keys almost of their own accord. Should Alex play the piano? Yes, she should. Nice with the piano, better with the organ. A chapter page hidden inside the piano. Should she? Yes, she should retreat. The Forbidden City. Does it auto? Is it just gonna? Okay, no. I was gonna say.
Who are you?
Looks to be...
I am your lord and conqueror.
What manner of forsaken being are you?
So,
Looks like
see me in my true form.
either Persian or Turkish.
A gifted man. Take this one and use him as the foundation for the pillar. He is special and should be given a special place among the suffering.
Okay. Why a special place? I don't understand. Okay. So now we have to figure out... We're looking for another page of Eternal Darkness. We play the piano. Oh, it's right there, though. Alright. Rules be what they are. I made a rule that I'm always going to read it in that office. It may take me back to that office, but I don't know, and I don't care. I'm gonna go back. That's where I'm gonna read. Now I wonder how her sanity correlates to the people that she's reading about.
Much has been written about the exploits of conquerors. In the context of history...
Hey Thumb, how you doing? I hope you're doing wonderfully.
Hero... but what has not.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That's kind of what came to mind.
Eternal Darkness mentions a Venetian artist and architect of the Renaissance named Roberto Bianchi.
Roberto Bianchi.
By a warlord expanding his empire. He forced Roberto to use his architectural and engineering skills to construct a monument to his greatness. Survey the site.
I love some of these little. I'm sure they're completely modeled, but the backdrops are kind of these painted. You had me at hello. Nice.
Survey the site quickly, dog, and maybe you'll live long enough to see the sacrament's construction.
Okay, so am I? Okay, so I'm.
Think we would trust you, Bianchi? Even though you are graced with the generosity of our liege, you are still his prisoner. Quickly, and maybe we'll drag you out of this hole.
Okay. I don't know much about this game, but I can see a lot of hard work. It definitely is good. Roberto must survey the ruins of this ancient temple. The rooms he must survey can be found on the map. Only when these areas have been inspected can the construction begin. Okay, so we have a torch. And we have to... those are autopsies. We have to... Okay, well, let's take the torch for now. Okay, so he actually has a pretty decent amount of health. Sanity is okay. He's not very magically gifted. That works fine, I suppose. Fun fact for anybody who's curious about people that were builders at this time. Oh, they built the pyramids and all these cave-ins and da-da-da. No, there were a lot of cave-ins. Okay, I just felt like compelled to stand on the center of that seal. Whoa, wait, oh, wait, oh, wait, oh, hey, hey, hey. A frantic worker looking for answers to questions that can't be answered. He hopes Roberto is there to save them and longs to see his family and friends once he escapes. So also a surveyor down here with me. Fair enough. We'll climb down farther. Actually, let me climb back up. I didn't take a look at that room from all sides yet. Okay. Yeah, I think they definitely put a lot of TLC into it. It's just, there are elements of it where it's like, okay, well. Okay, I'm trying, doesn't feel like that this torch is doing much of any damage to it. Here, let's just run around it for now. Because that's the only weapon I have, or that's the only thing I have, which can be used as a weapon. Yeah, let's survey this area. The structure around the room shows signs of stress. It is far from sound, perhaps with some reinforcement. It might be able to suit the requirements of the monument. Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like it's not quite sound. Okay, here's a sword. An old safe lies discarded on a nearby ledge. Let's take that. The guards who were supposed to be doing this did not do their job well if I'm a prisoner and I've been given a sword. Okay, I'm not gonna hurt them. Killing them would be... Your mind is a weapon. Rambo 2. That's true. Honestly, that's the most... That's literally the entire purpose of MacGyver summed up. Yeah, summed up very well. Okay, so we have bars. A detail. Lever is situated near the great chute. Yes. It's going to probably close behind me and open in front of me. Okay, it does. Again, it feels good to have a weapon, and it feels good to have somebody who's got a decent amount of health. Okay, we have another one. Okay, this seems like somebody set this up this way. I gotta go. We also figured this out about 2 chapters ago. That if you have a couple of those guys and they get together, the more of them that get together, the larger the explosion will be. And the whole room was unsafe from that point. Okay, fine. Come on. Let's get into the big open room, I guess. And we can't heal yet because we don't have the Tome of Eternal Darkness. So as soon as we get the Tome of Eternal Darkness, I'm going to save. And it'll probably be the ideal time to heal. Okay. I found some crossbow bolts. For a crossbow I don't have, so I'm assuming that's something I'll get here in a minute, maybe? Oh, yep, right there. Okay, let's take that. I never use the ranged weapons with the crossbow just because they don't seem to do a lot. I could be wrong, though. Maybe that's what I should be doing. Okay, so now here's where we get the Tome of Eternal Darkness. Okay. So there's Brother Luther. All right. I only ever use the most range weapon for the. Yeah, that's probably ideal, honestly. Okay, we already have heard this because it's the same thing each time. Yes, we're going to take the tome because otherwise we can't progress through the game. And we get all of the memories that came before us. And what is the year here? Let me see. Hold on. What is the, well, we're going to go ahead and save because I can't. There we go. 46, yes. The year is 1460, so this is actually 25 years before Brother Luther. So, Brother Luther's still around, but Brother Luther's 25 years younger. And still alive. The worker is surprised to see Roberto. He confesses to cowardice as he stayed behind while others ventured further into the complex. Let's try that again. While others ventured further into the complex. When screams of others echoed from the halls, he dared not move. No, that's all right. That's probably pretty fair. I have a sword though, so I'm. Uh-oh. Let's try the theory right there. Let's use some of. Let's equip a crossbow. I unequipped everything. Let's try that one more time. I like that he stepped into the crossbow to load it too. That's pretty accurate. It looked like he was. It looks like he's stepping into it, and that's pretty accurate because the draw strength of those is pretty ridiculous. So stepping into the curved part was a frequent practice. Okay. A collapsed roof and scaffolding prevent Roberto from proceeding further down this corridor, so that means up we go. No. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I couldn't blame him either. I can't seem to get the head to stay targeted. Oh, there's no head now, so I guess I got him. The heck is this thing? Oh, I know what this is. I don't like these things. I can't move, though. And it just goes off of him. And apparently he can do the trapper thing, which I didn't even know he could do. Give me purple. That's what I want. Okay, we're just gonna run around and freeze. Thank you. He summoned a trapper when he paralyzed. Oh, really? I need to run out of here. There's a trapper. Here, I'm just gonna go around. I'm gonna hobble here. And we're just gonna go down this hole. Oh, really? Son of a gun. Okay, we'll let him travel down there. I am gonna go over here and grab what looks to be crossbow bolts. Yeah. And then I need to change my quick spell since he doesn't have a lot of magic, but I need to change my quick spell. For the recovery, I need to change that to, hold on, spell list, and then recover. I'm going to try and see if I can assign for, and then that. See if I can do a 5-point. Oh yeah, that does a pretty good amount of... Okay, that's pretty good. He doesn't have a lot of magic, but... Very nice. Oh, I didn't realize he stopped. I thought he was farther in. Okay, hold on. No, we're not doing that. Let's see if we can get a, he was blue, so we need an enchant item cast that is green. That's fine. We're gonna try it this way. I'm having a lot of trouble hitting him. Yeah, I was having a ton, this is the first one I ended with almost all empty meters. Luckily, we did save. It's not the perfect place, but it's fine. It's not... Again, we have a pretty big health bar, so... There's a little bit of room to kind of maneuver. If we need to. Okay. And never mind me, I know that you guys are all archaeologists and... construction, but I'm just over here casting mystical spells from a tome that I found magically while standing right here in one spot. Don't mind me. Okay, we already know about your thing, so back to the crossbow. Take a quick shot at the guy that's right next to us. And it's one for each type, too. It looked like a red one, a blue one, and that far one looks to be a green one. Failed to reload, sorry. Let's try that again. No, that was another red one. Okay. So we're running low on magic, but we're running high on spirit. We're just gonna run around the bad guy, the little bat guy thing in this. We're just gonna go around all that. We might have to take him out at some point, but we're not gonna do it right now. Okay. Going that way. And we're gonna go ahead and oh, I can save here? No, I can't. I was gonna say I need to enchant my weapon. This is. Here's what we'll do. New spell. No. Spell list. Enchant. Check. This one is Antherbach and Magamore. Okay. Then we'll new spell. Antherbach. Magamore. And then Paragon. And then we should be able to enchant item, cast 5 in this way on our safe. And that should make it so that it hurts him a lot more. He's also blue, so I bet I have enough magic to do a simple blue shield on myself. Oh, wow. The difference between a 5-point and a... The difference between a 5-point spell and a 3-point spell in that are night and day. That was brilliant. Okay. Darkness is no longer on its way. Beautiful. And we have a glowing sword, so we currently don't need a... Wait, what is this? Uh-oh. Another worker's corpse, this time slashed from behind as he ran from his attacker, hoping for escape. Dang. Oh! Okay. Ravaged corpses litter the room. Their flesh has been devoured in places and decomposition has already set in. So it's been a minute since they've basically had this happen. So I think what I'm going to do, this actually seems like a safe room. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here so that I can get into things. Permit me just a moment. I'll be right back. Yes, sorry about that. Technical difficulty. Let me go back real quick. Yeah, technical difficulty, so let me see. Can you remove this from the playlist? I don't like the loud static at the beginning. I can take a look at mitigating the static sound. I'd have to go back and see what song it was to get it to remove. It's an interesting thing. The static that they put in now is artificial static most of the time. But used to, back in the day, if you've ever listened to, it was a couple songs ago, I'll take a peek. Used to, back in the day, if you ever listened to anything on a record player, a gramophone, or record player, and not, again, different story from today's record players, because even today's record players, they aren't quite the same. The Bluetooth ones that have got the smooth track and all, that was the static that you would get from the needle scratching on the oil outer side. Yeah, and so the whichever song it was, the static was in the intro and outro. Okay, I'll take a peek at that. But yeah, there was the static intro and outro would be when you'd put the needle on the record, and it had static before it actually reached the track, and then at the end it would have static too, because there was always a little bit of safety on the outsides and the insides. So I'll take a peek at it, but I assume that that's what they were attempting to emulate. Oof. It was too loud for my taste. Yeah, I'll see what I can do to either find the song or to mitigate the static part of it. Let's see. Okay, this feels very similar to... I didn't even hit the A button, so I have no idea what that was. Will he get me if I reload? Apparently not. All right. Yeah, and I can also, I'll take a look at the volume part of it too, but I'm not sure what song it was as I was trying to fix things in that interim. Okay. Suppose it makes sense we'd get a sanity effect. Luckily, televisions don't turn off quite like that. So, oh, there's a Chaturga rune. Is he green? Yeah, he's green. All right. So let's do a real quick. Let's do a spell list. Enchant item, cast 5, and green was weak to red, right? Blue's weak to red. Sorry, red is weak to blue, blue to green, green to red. Yeah. Fire beats grass. Okay, alright. I don't need that. I need return. Finish him. I need sanity. Nope. Okay, so those look to be... Okay, fine. I need to I want to examine the lava. A moat of molten rock and fire prevents access to room's center, in which a curious shrine stands. Confused by the layout, Roberto ponders its purpose and reason and finds none. Well, the reason would be to prevent you from getting to the key in the center. So how would we get in? There's no way to reach the key, I don't believe, without crossing the moat. Now, well, let's read the key real quick. There's a key placed on a pedestal. It glints in the room's soft light, so there's no way to get the key for this at the moment. Yeah, this looks to be the rooms that we were in way back at the beginning. And this is just them way later, it looks like. The pedestal has a red sigil. It has a Chaturga 5-point sigil, but for what I don't... to do what? Let's say it has a 5-pointed sigil, but to do what I'm not sure. Let's see. Recover, reveal. Well, what if we... No, that feels just like regular old... Hey, look. Let's check this real quick. Narakath and Red Gormer. Okay. Welcome back, Ash. Paragon. Okay, reveal invisible. So the question is, do I use a red sigil or red spell to break what's going on with this? Or do I use a blue one because it's a red one there? And even still, if that is the case, which one do I use? I've been playing Astrobot. No, that's alright. Have fun. That's the whole thing, is have fun. Play what you want to play and do what spend your time the way you want to spend your time. There's no pressure. There is no pressure. Let's see if this shows anything. No? Still nothing. I haven't completed it yet, but it has the potential to be the best platformer I've ever played. That's pretty impressive. Just for fun, one more time. Let's try this, this. Aha! So it was something to counteract. There's a key placed on the pedestal. We still have the same thing. We pick it up. Forgotten corridor key. Wonderful. Okay. The Mario franchise has real some competition. It's that good. That's pretty darn impressive, especially considering how good Super Mario Wonder was. It was pretty good. I'm planning on playing a game called Boltbot's Screwy Viruses. Have you heard of it? I've never heard of it before. Oh, it's Granddad again.
Help me, Grandpa. I can't take this anymore.
Don't be so weak, Alex.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Stronger mind than this. I didn't right shove a girl.
Oh, that's not Granddad.
You kept all this from me. You kept me alone. You shared nothing with me.
I couldn't. I could never give you the word. To grow up and leave me alone.
That's not your grandfather.
You're being killed with your parents.
This cat.
Yeah, that's the Centurion. It's an indie 3D platformer. Okay. Astro's a must-buy, especially if you're a fan of platformers. That's awesome. Recently I've been playing Order of Ecclesia on the Dominus collection. I love... So Castlevania... I've said this before. Castlevania is one of my very... If we're talking about a whole franchise, and we're talking about franchises that I like on the whole, Castlevania is very possibly the top one. I love Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, but Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts and the Game Boy Advance one I'm not really keen on. So it's very risk-reward on that one, whichever one you get. Mario, same way, very risk-reward what you get. Castlevania is not as much risk-reward. I can't think of very many Castlevania games that I didn't at least enjoy for what they were in their form factor, and that includes Castlevania 64 and Legacy of Darkness, and the Lords of Shadow game, which I actually quite liked. Even though I don't think that that's the best version of Dracula, I really liked it. How have I been? I've been all right. I've been doing okay, though. I appreciate it. How have you been? I hope you've been doing very well as well. I think Soten is going to be an all-time great for me when I get around to it. I hope so. I wouldn't rush it. I think... let's see. Stones and rubbles from the collapsed ceiling prevent any passage in this direction. Okay, in that direction. I think Soten is going to be... I think you're going to like Soten. I hope you do. I think you will like Soten. Fire popping... Let's get some sanity back. Soten is great. One of the things that I really like about the Dominus collection, and when I'm speaking about the Dominus collection, I'm not... oh, well, maybe this is the... There we are. The 3DS games that the Dominus Collection compiles, and it also compiles the original Haunted Castle as well as a remade Haunted Castle. Huh. In a minute. No. Maybe. Is that they do a lot the same thing as Soten. Okay, that looks to be green. Let's do, There is something there. What is this? I saw you put, welcome, let's see. Oh, I gotcha. Just so I know this game, yeah, they did so in. It's no shocker now that in Soten you have a couple of different ways you can end the game. My only problem with the Dominus is they didn't fix the Donosaurus soul drop rate. No, and I agree with that it can get a little bit of that Donosaurus can get a little bit grindy in that regard. But my counter to that generally is that the souls that once I find a select few souls, that's pretty well what I use, and so it's kind of like it's kind of like with Order of Ecclesia, right? Up until you get to a point, like you use whatever up until you get to like Numa, and then after you get to either Volmasir or Milio Masir or Numa, you're pretty well not slipping through glyphs. You're pretty well. That's what you have, you know. That's, you know, you're using Numa on water, and you're using Emilio Macier on whatever else. And, or on Barlow, maybe you're using Volaskia, but... Or Volaxia, excuse me, but, you know. I can't recommend Astro enough, though. Definitely check. Okay, I'll take a look at it. I certainly will. I wish they put some grindy stuff behind a quality of life setting toggle. I can understand that. I think that's a fair way to do it. Okay, let me see. There's got to be something about dispelling this. I just haven't determined what it is. Cast. If I do this, that should help me take some guesswork out. No, it still didn't take any guesswork out. Can I protect myself then? Can I shield myself? The bodies of dead slaves litter the corridor, most likely the victims of wandering denizens of the temple, their desperate bid to escape in it in a mire of blood and pain. I guess I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to get stopped at least once more. Okay, well, that'll do. So you can use shield to get through it because it's the floor. Son of a gun. Yeah, I can't blame you for some of that. But anyway, Castlevania. One of the favorite things. And so in the DS ones, you have a couple, just without going too deep, you have a couple of things you can do in those too. You have endings, true endings, bad endings. You have all that. So it's really cool to have that. Oh, you had the right idea at least. Need a 5 point. Yeah, I thought as soon as I realized 3 point was working, I was like, I should have done the bigger one. So I'll do that going back if I have to go back through it. But I was trying to figure out how to dispel everything, and then I was like, oh, that isn't working at all. I'll take a look at Astro. Astro is going to be PS5 exclusive. I know that the original one was, which I really like the VR version of the Astro games. The man babbles incoherently about worms devouring his countrymen and that Roberto will be next. So this is basically, speaking of Dracula, Renfield. Oh, that's beautiful. I like that. A little unusual with the tentacles, but I like the carving. A hideous bas-relief adorns the monolith. Humans thrown into the nest of huge worms. The people have been sacrificed, ingested by the worms to fuel some unknown, unfathomable process. Ooh. They have so much beautiful, like, there's so much that they put into this 2002 game to be so... I'm less keen on this one. Okay, yeah, like I said, I'll take a look at it. Is it a full price, like 60? Or is it one of those, because Astro historically has always been like 30, or half price, or sometimes it's even less or free. This carving depicts a man's skeletal remains in a cruel embrace of a multitude of worm-like creatures. Are these the things that killed the men in this room? If it is, then that would probably be Manta Rock, wouldn't it? And if it is, I've got a sigil for him. Can I go down here? Is there a rope holds the bridge aloft, waiting to be lowered into position? Okay, so there is a rope. That told me what I needed to know. I have no idea what happened in that cutscene except for that yeah, let's pull that. I'm taking constant sanity damage from 2 tentacles. Later, guys. Going over here. Wait, that's where I came from. Hold on. That's not right either. Where am I going? I wager they all come back up anyway, but I could be wrong. It's £60, but it's full-length AAA platformer. Think of mainline 3D Mario with it's that level of quality. I'm not exaggerating. It's that good. You know how much I love Mario. Yeah, no, that's a big deal. I don't mind, and that's the thing. I don't mind 60. So I have side note is it by Greewook Studio? Oh, so you're familiar, or it seems at least. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the I need to figure out what opened up exactly. Let's really quickly before I go too far, because if I do, it's going to cause me a problem. Oh, I found it on Steam. Okay, all right. But I don't know if it's the right one. Okay. I'm see if I can take a look at the backs of these, if they're the same or not. Nope, we can't. I was just saying, going back to the Castlevania thing and some of the others, I'm not a big fan. I'm sure you're familiar with this already, Ash. It says here it's $1. Oh, there's no way, right? Let's survey this. The dilapidated roof appears to have to be collapsing in several areas and will need a lot of reinforcement. The workers will have a daunting task ahead of them. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking it was a Sony exclusive, but I mean, it's worth trying. If you find a $1 version, potentially, it's worth trying. Let's do something real quick. Maybe this isn't right, but... Can I light these sconces? No. Okay. But anyway, again, Castlevania collections and all of these, I've gone to almost entirely going to physical, so I'd have to find a physical. I'd have to find a physical copy of it. Shield. No, I need a shield check. It's Bankarok and Santec. But, so I've gone to, anyway, point being is I've gone to physical. Sent you request? Me? Oh, Ash, okay, I was gonna be, alright. But anyway, I've gone almost entirely to physicals, what I'm trying to say. And so even the Castlevania games, I've had to, I don't like limited run very much, but I don't like not having physical copies of my games even more. So I bought all of the limited run copies that they had of the original, and then of course on the 13th comes the new one, so. Oh, it runs, oh geez, it runs 5 points exactly, doesn't it? Yeah, no worries. It'd be cool to see it either which way. Let's survey this. So, crumbling place. The structure of this area could be braced to provide enough foundation for the monument. For the monument, yes. Sanity effect. No, my sanity's full. This is really happening, I guess. It's not gonna let me out, though. Okay, fine. You want to play dirty? We're playing dirty. What is damage field? Bank wreck red Gummer. Okay. Alright, we're playing dirty. But you annoyed me enough. Oh, I can't even do it because I can't stand still for long enough. Alright, I'll go. I'll just go. Random surveyors hitting me. Let's see. I thought you were gonna get an amazing deal for the game. I thought that would be really good. Imagine Sony putting a new AAA exclusive on Steam for $1. You know, it's funny. What's funny though about that is that Microsoft probably would. They said if they couldn't get enough, people to subscribe or to follow their, no, this is the lava room, right? If they couldn't get enough people to follow or subscribe to their online platforms, that they were potentially going to... Yeah, that is. They were potentially going to... Is this a survey room? Let me look. I don't think it is, but... Oh, maybe it is. Anyway, that they were going to potentially stop doing Xbox hardware. I'm sitting there going, that's a really silly thing to do. Especially when I don't... When Xbox makes a really good... They make a really good console. I mean, you're talking about one of the few consoles that is remarkably backwards compatible. It's the most backwards compatible, save for PC, of course. And they're going to stop making it because they don't have enough subscriptions. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? That's silly. Okay, I don't see a place to try and do the survey. It's red, but I don't see a thing to... I'm assuming that's just level. I can't see a thing to do the survey, so... Only 2 months until the podcast. Nice. Whenever... I mean, I'm game for whenever you are. I'm ready. All right, so yeah, I think this is going to be where I call it. Though I was trying to do it, I was trying to get as much done as possible, but I want to kind of map things out and take a look. So I'm going to try and save it and see if I can call it good for just now. Come back to it refreshed. The Paul Luther part took a lot out of me, so. But this one's actually not bad. This is a little bit better, and I'm getting suspicious that Granddad's probably not Granddad. Viddy? No, it isn't Viddy, though. It truly isn't Viddy to answer. Are all on the upper floor? Okay. Well, I know we had that one where the pit where the tentacles came out of that were causing the damage. I know that was a survey spot, and I think that was lower, too. So that's the only reason I got suspicious, but... I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here just because we had a pretty good run with the Paul Luther thing, and I was having some technical hiccups, and I may still be having a few technical hiccups, and I'd like to take a look at those as well. So thanks for the stream. Well, thank you guys for being here. A huge thank you to Fighting Max, to Ash, to Thumbros, and to Banjo the Wizard, of course, for popping in, saying hi, visiting with me. It's always a pleasure to get to talk with you guys, but I am going to go ahead and change it. We'll get some music in here. But yeah, I'm just going to say a huge thank you to all of you guys who popped in. The Banjo, thank you so much for the help. I wouldn't have found my way had it not been for you helping me in that. I'm going to take a look at some of these technical issues, so I'm going to hop off so it doesn't cause you any further disturbances. I'm getting a big red thing on my screen. But I hope you guys had a wonderful time. I hope you had a wonderful day. Thank you for visiting with me, and I hope to visit you more as I'm more active, or able to be more active in the Discord now that we've kind of gotten past the hectic point. Thank you to all of you guys who are in the Discord saying hi to me, trading up stuff, and I do still want to see, as soon as I get things situated here, I do still want to send some of the strategy guide stuff and see what your guys' thoughts are on that, and maybe if you have others to share as well, it'd be wonderful. Otherwise, I hope you will all have a wonderful rest of your weekend, a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you guys in the next one.